Why in the world would you homeschool?
Here's some pros and some cons. Hi, we're Chips and Salsa, two homeschool moms bringing you fun, practical, and encouraging tips for your homeschool.
Welcome to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We upload every Tuesday.
Today, we're talking about why homeschool, the pros and the cons,
The good
the bad.
and the ugly.
Well, the number one pro is flexibility. You get an opportunity to educate the way that is going to best suit your individual children.
And that includes time, because a lot of times we are bound to the school system, right? If they go to regular school. Here, we can have doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
and plan our own field trips, and so it's, if we have a lot of stuff going on in the morning, we can do school in the afternoon. Or if we need to take a vacation during a certain time, we can do that. The examples are endless, but you have flexibility.
Well, it makes me think that back in the day, the only people you heard of that homeschooled were like the super religious weirdos, right? We love Jesus.
Right. But we're not weirdos.
Or it was actors and performers that were on the road. They were doing a movie.
Yeah.
So we get the opportunity to do it. Maybe your kids aren't stars.
Right.
But they're important to you.
They're superstars to you. Number 2 is the educational freedom. So right along with flexibility, you are able to educate your child the way you want to educate your child. Obviously, you want to prepare them for life, so you're not going to ignore all the standards.
You are going to do reading, writing, arithmetic.
Right. The benefit is that you can focus on what they're good at. So, for instance, my daughter struggles with math. We just get by on math. I'm not going to force her to
Do calculus.
right, because it's not going to work, and I'm just going to frustrate her. So I want to focus on what she's great at, which is history and geography, So and she's good at writing too. So you can tailor your school to their needs.
And go really in depth on things that we are interested in or they're interested in. And like you said, encourage growth in areas where they're maybe struggling. You can spend extra time.
Yeah.
You don't have to grind week after week.
The other benefit is being able to bring enriching subjects like music and art and things that are being taken away from public school. We also get to study a lot of poetry together and composers, just a lot of really fun stuff. This is your opportunity to make education fun. And that is, for me, that was one of the number one reasons for homeschooling. I was like, I just want learning to be fun.
And you can't forget about the field trips. My husband's always saying what a plethora of field trips that we go on. But that's enriching, and it's a wonderful benefit to homeschooling. The third pro is discipling your children. Spending that time with them and really having a relationship where you know what's going on in their lives and in their hearts, and pouring into them biblical truths and shaping their character, or at least partnering with Holy Spirit to shape their character.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. My daughter went to school all the way up to 3rd grade, and she had awesome teachers, but obviously their belief system was not the same as mine or ours in our family. And so there were a lot of things being instilled, and to their defense, they have to, because they have to intervene when there are social issues. They have to intervene. And so they're going to give their 2 cents. They're going to educate our kids the best way they know how.
Right.
But it's not the best way I know how, so it was really eye-opening when my daughter would come home with all these ideas that I didn't agree with necessarily, and I was like, no, that's not what we believe. And the conversations that we have are just endless, about friendships, about life.
Yeah, but you have to take the time. And our family, we like to pray together in the morning, and we're not rushing out the door. So we have time to sit and pray together and worship the Lord together. And that's really important to us, to make that a part of of our families' normal everyday life.
Okay. What about the cons?
Now we get to the ugly.
Number 1, newsflash, it's hard work.
It's really hard. And I always say the first 2 years are definitely the hardest.
Yes.
I think maybe harder if you're bringing them out of school for the transition. I started homeschooling right away. So when my oldest was in kindergarten, we started homeschooling. And the first 2 years still were so hard because he wasn't used to doing any school. I mean, we did little preschool activities, but I was asking him to do more, and it was a challenge.
Yeah. Well, and then just like parenting, it evolves, right?
Absolutely.
Every phase is different.
They're going from toddler to
Child to
Yes.
preteen to teenager, and there's a plethora of changes that go with that. So even when you think you got it down,
something new
there's
happens.
a lot of change.
Well, and the other part of the work is finding out exactly how you want to homeschool, finding the curriculum that works best for you and your family, finding schedule and routine that works best for your family. All of that is work. If you've been homeschooling, then you know you're up late looking at blogs,
Watching us.
trying to figure out, like, how do I do this and how do I make the best year possible, because the time goes so fast.
Yeah. I do have to say something, though. When my kids were in public school, I felt like I worked almost just as hard. Now, mind you, I did have quiet time, when I dropped them off, but I felt like I lived in PTA meetings or in just school meetings. I felt like I had to drop them off, and then at 9 o'clock I had a meeting for the fundraising of the fall festival or whatever, And then on top of that, there's individual things that each classroom does, and as a room parent, you have to organize that. And on top of that, there's all these fundraisers constantly for field trips, for music,
Right.
for art, and it was tiring. I was working a lot. And I don't know that my kids were directly benefiting from it. And so that really opened my eyes, because I was like, I'm already working really hard just as a parent of a public school. So I think I want to do it on my own.
Another con to homeschooling is there's more housework involved because you don't leave. Which is why we have chore chart system videos.
You have to develop these systems, or you will live in a pile of trash.
Well, just think about it. We eat 3 meals a day at home most days, or we pack a lunch and go to a field trip, right? Yeah. Then we're throwing something into our crock pot or our Instapot because we want to eat at home. We want to have healthy meals. And so our kitchen's getting dirty constantly. The rooms are dirty. The bathrooms are dirty. All of that is extra work.
Not to mention science experiments.
Yes.
Or cooking lessons.
Or school papers that pile up.
Yeah.
And trash and books.
Or slime making.
Lots of slime.
And, that's something else to mention. We spend a lot of time. With your kids.
Yes. So we have to be much more intentional about scheduling out alone time, date nights,
girls' nights,
beauty moments, beauty time,
Yeah.
Beauty treatments.
Yeah.
Beautify.
I hide in the bathroom a lot of times.
Well, you got to get your kids to go to bed
Yeah.
so you could have some time.
You do. So again, we'll do another video about time management, but you really do have to be on top of it if you want to have a sane life. But I mean, you have to do that even when you don't homeschool. You have to have a schedule and a routine and some kind of systems going, because it's just necessary for everybody. Yeah.
I think homeschool moms do get caught up in feeling like they always are with their kids or they have to always be working.
Right.
And so I think you kind of get into this work mindset. So that might be an issue too, just to be able to relax.
Con number 3, having a second income is definitely more challenging when you're homeschooling. I've tried a few little jobs here, data entry, admin stuff, even if it's 2 hours a day, and it ends up being really hard because of what we just said. I mean, there's a lot of time involved in homeschooling. There's field trips. There are other events that we want to do, and then there's housework, and that just takes up a lot of our time. If you're like us, we're singers, we're professional singers, so we try to get a little bit of money from gigs, and that helps because it's like away from homeschooling. And so it's easier, I think, to do stuff that's not in
very
the house.
time consuming.
Right. I do other things, like I make salsa and I sell it. I give some vocal lessons too on the side. So there are ways you can get creative, and I'm sure there's other moms that are really creative too. You can sell LuLaRoe or lip sense or street color.
Color Street, I think.
Color Street. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a plethora.
There is a plethora
of things that
of
you can
opportunity
do
out there. And so don't limit yourself or feel like you can't do it. But living on one income in today's economy is tough. And we live in California, in San Diego. So it's pretty expensive.
Yes.
So we do make sacrifices.
But honestly, parents, the time goes by like that. I mean, I've already been homeschooling for 4 years. What? We're already almost at the end of the school year.
I know.
It's insane. So it seems like a really hard sacrifice, and it is, but it's so short compared to the rest of our lives.
It really is. And there's no amount of money, success, fancy cars or houses that is worth the souls of our children.
Yeah.
And for our family, that has just been the top priority. And I've put my career really on the back burner to support our family in this way. And I'm grateful to the Lord that I can do it. Honestly, I really am.
Yeah, and I always think, really, we're young. I mean, we still have the rest of our lives ahead of us. Who says that you have to have a super successful career by 40 or whatever? Like, we can still be successful career women after we're done homeschooling. So it's never too late, moms, dads. Don't get discouraged. If you are thinking about homeschooling, we hope that you've enjoyed these pros and cons. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and we want to hear from you.
Yes. Tell us what you think down below in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.